You're listening to the Food City Podcast, the show that takes you behind the scenes of your favorite supermarket.
From new products, expert tips on meal planning, and all things community, let's dive in and see what's in store today.
All right, well, hello everybody and happy July. Today we thought that we would talk a little bit about staying consistent with health and wellness during the summer months as our routines start to change. But first we wanted to introduce our newest dietitian, Food City dietitian, Chastity O'Quinn, who is joining us today. She is working out of the Abingdon office, but we thought we'd give you a chance to kind of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background.
Yes, good morning. I'm happy to be here. I'm coming from outpatient dietitian work. I've done many years in community nutrition. I love that, working in the community. But I'm so excited to be here in retail and helping people from this aspect.
First time doing a podcast.
First time doing a podcast.
Great having you. Yes.
Thank you.
It'll be a good one, a good kind of way to ease into it, I think. This is a fun topic that is relatable to most of us because I think in the summer, our rhythms change for people with kids. You know, school is out, and so that can mean a more relaxed time for some families, but it can also ramp up if there are summer camps going on. People are traveling, going on vacations, or spending weekends at the beach. So talking a little bit about not only nutrition, but also other aspects of our health that can change. So kind of diving right in, we'll start with Megan. With summer being a little bit unpredictable, what do you think are some key things for people to keep in mind, specifically when it comes to medication?
Yeah, it's definitely easy to get off track in the summer. Like you said, sometimes we're having a more relaxed schedule, but even if not, your kids play sports, you do a lot of travel ball, you're on the go a lot, so it's easy to kind of get out of your normal routine. One of the biggest things is try and stick to your schedule. You want to still try and take your medications at the same time. Set reminders on your phone. There's apps that will remind you when to take your medications. So that's one of the biggest things. Just if you're busy and kind of lose track of time, then that can help keep you kind of on your schedule. Keep your medications cool. I know, hot months, the cars get hot, everything's hot, so you want to make sure that you don't have your medications in direct sunlight or in a hot car. Some medications will lose their effectiveness if they get too hot. Especially it comes to mind as insulin or inhalers. You want to make sure you keep those in, if you have to travel with them, in a cooler or an insulated pouch. Bring extra doses. So you're going away for a weekend. Plans sometimes change. You may not be home the same day. Just make sure you plan ahead, have an extra dose or two just in case something like that happens. And then watch out for a sun sensitivity. A lot of medications can make you more sensitive to the sun. So kind of remember that. If you don't typically burn or are sensitive, just know that certain things you may be taking might change that, and just kind of plan ahead.
I did not know that. What are some medications that would make you more sensitive?
A lot of antibiotics will make you more sensitive. Certain face washes or creams like Retin-A, benzoyl peroxide can make you more sensitive. Certain diuretics and even diabetes medications like glipizide can all make you more sensitive and prone to sunburn.
Wow. So a lot of things to think of outside of our realm as dietitians. We think of like the health or the nutrition aspect of staying on track. So kind of diving in, obviously social events are a big part of the summer for a lot of people. It could be 4th of July cookouts. We've got several holidays that usually involve some sort of grill, and it could be a party or just kind of whether you're grilling at home. So Chastity, what are your tips, or what would you if you were counseling somebody or giving advice to somebody, what advice would you give for navigating a kind of social event, barbecue, cookout when it comes to nutrition?
Definitely planning ahead. I think that if you're going to stay on track through the summer, if you've got certain goals, I would definitely plan ahead, know what you're going to bring, have coolers to keep those cool, so hot weather, things like that, but definitely just making it fun too, not having it be such a focus that you're going to be eating this big meal or stressing out about what you're going to eat.
Right.
Just make it about socialization outside of the food too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's an excellent tip. Absolutely. I mean, you touched on food safety. I think we should probably circle back about that because that's something that I hadn't even thought about. But when it comes to any sort of holiday gathering or party, I think people do tend to overanalyze it a little bit, or they kind of throw caution to the wind when it comes to nutrition and are kind of going to go all in. But one approach could be, I'm going to save up and kind of splurge later. But that approach can actually really backfire. So planning ahead by having balanced meals beforehand so that you feel more empowered and in control when you're actually navigating the many offerings at the cookout. So then you can kind of you feel satisfied. You're not super, super hungry, so you're reaching for whatever's in sight. You're able to be a little bit more choosy when that comes.
Yeah.
Because most people are all or nothing. It's like all or nothing. I'm going to eat all of this or I'm not going to eat. Restrict. So it goes back to that moderation.
Yep.
Just going back to
Yeah.
that.
I definitely have been guilty of doing that. If I know something's coming up, then I'm like, I'm just not going to eat. And then, you're famished by then or just feeling sick because your sugar's out of whack. So
absolutely.
I've been guilty of doing that too, but that's a great point.
Our bodies are pretty good at knowing what we need to drive those blood sugars back up. And what are they? So kind of quick, simple carbohydrates and sugars that are going to make us feel more energized. So having something beforehand is going to be a good approach. I also think you mentioned planning ahead. So maybe if you're going to be at a gathering that's going to have maybe the proteins covered, there's going to be a lot of options on the grill, whether that's, pulled pork or steaks and hamburgers and stuff like that. But maybe they're going to be side dishes, so potato salad and pasta salad. So making sure that the vegetable side is covered. So bringing a vegetable tray or a fruit tray or a fruit salad, something. So you're kind of contributing to everybody else's wellness goals as well. I think can be a good strategy. I also think having some core anchor habits that can be applied to any situation when you are dining out or navigating a potluck or barbecue can be really helpful. Yeah. So I have one example, but maybe you guys can kind of share if you have any kind of core habits that you think help to stabilize everything else.
I try and always make sure I'm drinking plenty of water, especially, before the meal or during the meal, just to kind of, help you feel more full and not overeat. And then trying to start with a vegetable or salad or something, especially if you're feeling starving, to keep you from overeating the worst stuff later.
Yes. Yeah. The water thing, I think, is huge. Well, first of all, you mentioned hydration is key, and we need to drink a lot of water, especially when it's hot before we feel thirsty. But alcohol and maybe sugary drinks are big at those events. And so maybe even just starting with 16 ounces of water. Yeah. And then saying, okay, I'm still going to allow myself to have, some beer or whatever is offered or soda or whatever, but alternating between those drinks, having that 16 ounces of water or 8 ounces of water or for whatever it is. Then you're kind of filling up a little bit and you're more in control and you're staying hydrated so you don't feel sick later.
And I like what you said about using the apps for the medications. You can use that with your water as well. Just, your watch will say, hey, drink water. You can set those reminders up so you can stay on track.
Think of that.
Yeah.
Megan, you took, I think, both of my core habits. I think water is definitely key, but also starting with a vegetable. I think just balancing your plate is something that you can apply to any situation too, or most situations. And so starting with the vegetable is key, or fruit. And so if that means bringing something to make sure you have it, or trying to choose those veggie-based side dishes first, and then picking some sort of lean protein, ideally, if you can. So dividing that plate into thirds. Think about it in thirds. You've got your vegetable, you've got your protein. So it could be sirloin steak. It could be maybe a lean burger or chicken, or if there's, crab or shrimp, that can be a great option on the grill. And then having that third of the plate also for some fun foods, whether that's a side of pasta or potato salad, or maybe it's some, rolls and dessert, a little bit of fun dessert too.
Sure.
Yeah. Any other core habits that you would kind of counsel patients? to navigate?
Well, so for me, I think, I end up bringing a lot of things to these social events. So you're rushing, you're cooking, you're doing all these things, and sometimes you can end up grazing on things, so you got to watch that. But I make a note to just kind of, after I'm ready to go and have everything prepared, just sit and just take a minute to just kind of relax and let your system not be so stressed out that you're running with this food, putting it in the car and running to this event, and just relax.
Yeah.
Take a few minutes to just breathe.
That is a good idea. It's a good thing to remember because our lives get so busy, and I think we forget to kind of just take a step back and not always feel like we're rushing or on the go and just enjoy it. So it's a great tip.
Yeah, excellent tip. Key for mindfulness too, and that's really important when we're talking about food in particular. All right, so vacations, travel is another big aspect in the summer for a lot of families, whether that's a family road trip, you're going somewhere far, or maybe it's a weekend trip to the beach, or maybe you're traveling somewhere by air, and that can really trip people up when it comes to nutrition too.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going out to eat at restaurants. If you're going to a new place, you want to kind of experience the culture and the different foods. Or maybe you're just kind of looking for roadside snacks when you're in the car or something appropriate for the beach. Megan, what would you bring in the car with you or when you're traveling anywhere?
Are we talking food-wise or?
Okay, well, I guess I don't want to ask you about your personal medications. So, but if you have tips around that would be good.
I do always like to try and have like a trail mix or some sort of protein like almonds or cashews. I like beef jerky. I like to have an apple or banana.
Yep.
Just things like that. Along with, I'll be honest, I have the bad stuff with me too. I'll have some Cheetos or some M&Ms. So, but to try and always have some protein or fruit with it, I think is key and important.
Yep.
What about you?
So we do a lot of road trips in the summer.
Yeah.
That tends to be kind of our mode of travel, and we love kind of going different places. We also, being from Maine, we like to go to the lake in Maine, and so we will usually pack a cooler in the car because we're going to be there for hours, and so we'll put yogurt in there, fruits, vegetables, and hummus, things for kind of easy snacking that are ready to go. So snackable vegetables. Hard-boiled eggs are one, but I also love kind of the non-perishable things that you mentioned. So nuts, unsalted or lightly salted roasted nuts are great. I love low-sugar beef jerky. I don't know why, but I associate that with road trips. I always have. It's like something that my family, we would kind of grab something in the convenience store, and beef jerky was what we kind of gravitated for. So love low sugar beef jerky, but that's a good one. I think I mentioned yogurt already, but sometimes some kind of quick sandwiches that are ready to eat if we don't want to stop somewhere and sit down too. What about you, Chastity?
So you stole all of mine. Definitely. No, so I always have an apple in my purse anyway, so that's one of the things. Beef jerky, definitely. I like to put chia seeds in my water. That's one of the things, so I can stay on track with fiber, and it helps with a little bit of protein. That's a big thing. And just knowing that when you do stop at a convenience store, you can pick up the nuts if you don't have them, and know what to look for to stay on track in a situation where you didn't bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think key, just like anything else we talk about too, is when we're traveling, just staying hydrated. It's so easy to not be hydrated, especially if you're on a road trip, because you don't want to have to stop
every hour.
But I think staying hydrated is important even on days when you're traveling. So
Yes, yeah. Well, digestion can be an issue, especially you're upsetting your schedule and kind of sleep schedule, just everything. Your routine is completely different. And so making sure that you are staying on top of hydration is definitely key for that. I also like the chia seed idea. I don't think I've ever tried that in my water, but maybe I'll give it a go this summer.
You got to let it sit. I want to preface with that. You need to let it sit for about 2 hours just so it absorbs all that water. And I've been trying to get Megan to try it.
I actually tried it yesterday. I was going to tell you. I did try it for the first time.
What did you think?
The texture is different.
We are on a podcast.
Yeah, the texture is different. It took a little bit to get used to that, but like taste wise, it didn't really taste any different.
Yeah.
It's just trying to get over the fact that there's texture in your water.
There
It
is
was-
texture. Yeah.
The first few sips, I might have made a face, but it really wasn't bad. It just was like it's different.
Yeah, for sure. How much did you put in there?
I think
'Cause
I did a tablespoon.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay. You want to make sure that it's not, so thick because there, you can make chia seed pudding and it'll gel together so much if you
Maybe I would
put
like that
too
better
many.
if it's
So, but just putting a tablespoon in there, letting it sit for a couple hours, and it helps hydrate because it will help balance your electrolytes naturally.
Yeah.
So.
And does it all like congeal, or is it
it's floating.
stays?
It's floating. You just kind of got to shake it up some, but it is floating.
And you don't add any flavor to it. It's just.
I think flavoring would help. Like I think I like cucumber water, so I think adding like some cucumber or lemon might help. It's like mentally for me. I don't know.
think that would be good. And I've told patients, do that if you think that will give it a little bit of the feel that almost like you're having something sweet or candy.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of gummy.
Yes, it is. I put it in smoothies, but I expect to have a little bit of a chewiness, a little
Not
bit
in your
more
water.
texture. Yeah, I don't expect it in my water, but I will give it a try. I try everything once for the most part. What are your favorite go-to summer meals? Not necessarily while you're traveling or while at a barbecue, but what you're making during the week. What are your favorites?
We do a lot of grilled chicken, mostly grilled chicken and vegetables.
Yeah.
Those are probably our go-to. Anytime I can get our meat on the grill instead of in the oven, I'm all for it. And it just tastes so much better, I think. So
100%.
Yeah.
I think food tastes better outside anyway.
I agree.
Even if whether it's cooked outside, but especially if it's eaten outside, I think, I don't know, it just adds to the experience.
Yeah, for sure.
what are some of yours?
We definitely do a lot of grilling. So grilled protein, whether that's chicken or steak or burgers, fish too. I do use the oven for fish a lot, usually at least once a week. But I don't like to cook a lot of like heavy meals. Obviously, we're not doing like the soups and chilies. We've kind of gotten away from that as it's warmed up. And so a lot of fresh ingredients. We love a watermelon feta salad. I think that's my husband's favorite because it's got the sweet, you've got kind of the salty feta, and then put it on some arugula with balsamic. That's one of our favorites. Caprese salad. Another popular one is foil grilled vegetables, so mushrooms and zucchini and peppers and stuff like that. Love that. We have a bunch of other things that we kind of like rotate through, but those are things that kind of come to mind immediately. What about you, Chastity?
For some reason in the summer, I amp up the shrimp and the salmon. So I get a lot of the fish and things like that in. And just avocado sauces, some refreshing type things. Even a smoothie bowl, you know, just doing the frozen fruit and nuts and seeds and chia seeds. Just light and refreshing. And like you said, I love to eat outside. So even if you do cook it on the inside, taking it out in the backyard or on your deck and just enjoying it by the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a good low country boil too. You mentioned shrimp, and that's something we like to do every now and then over the summer, which I know doesn't just have, the proteins. It'll have some starches with it too, but it's a really good summer meal, I think.
I had never had a low country boil until I ran my race in Alabama. And it was actually, I don't know if it was the season for it necessarily, but my husband wanted seafood, and that's what we ordered. Okay. All I wanted, though, was the potatoes. Normally I love seafood, but I'm not like in the mood for anything heavy. But yeah, that sounds delicious. I do love seafood. I love, of course, like lobster.
Oysters.
Cowboy caviar is another one, or like just a black bean salad is something that I usually make in batches and then have it to scoop on salads or to pair with some like chicken or fish for leftovers throughout the week. That's another really good one. It's got lots of fiber in it. You've got the protein, you've got the healthy fats if you add avocado. So there are kind of different variations too. You can swap out what herbs and vegetables you like, but it's a good way to get a lot of color in.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's move into kind of movement. I think movement, for me at least, is a lot easier in the summer months. I want to be outside.
Yeah.
I want to be active. So there's kind of this good opportunity to encourage me to go out for a run, or if I'm by water, I love to swim. But what are you guys' favorite ways to incorporate movement as part of your summer activities?
We like to kayak, getting on the water. Yeah, swimming and kayaking. I love to do that. Walking outside, just enjoying the nature.
Yep.
I used to run, but I don't run as much anymore. But walking and bike riding are two things that we like to do too.
Yep.
How about you?
I love to take my dog hiking. I just love to get into the mountains with her and just, before you know it, you've got 4 or 5 miles in, and it's, you can take your time and just enjoy everything that's outdoors.
Yes. Yeah.
And then even fun activities that you may not be burning as many calories or working up a sweat, but just something fun to do with your family, like pickleball. We love to play that. Cornhole, I know that's not a huge active, but just anything to get outside and move,
I think anything that you don't necessarily have to think about as exercise or activity that is fun and enjoyable, even if it's not super, super intense, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Because it's just part of your routine.
Yeah.
And we know that people who have better overall health incorporate activity throughout their whole day. They're not necessarily doing, or maybe they are doing a really intense workout for 60 minutes, but that intense workout for 60 minutes isn't enough. It has to be kind of part of your routine.
Yeah.
So
And then if you're at the beach or I like to, walk on the beach or boogie boarding. I mean, swimming out into the ocean, that's a huge workout. So just doing stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you covered too. You like biking. So you've got kind of your cardio, but also the lower body focus. The kayaks, oh my goodness. The shoulders and arms are feeling it after a few hours out on the water. So I love that. Great suggestions. And hiking too is a big part of our summer routine. All right, covered activity. Now, let's do a little bit of rapid fire questions to kick us off. So, favorite summer activity? I know we kind of talked about movement, but summer activity, I guess, in general.
I would say swimming.
I would say hiking.
Mine would be swimming, too. It's kind of rare. I don't have access to it all the time, but probably swimming.
Right. Do you prefer the beach or the pool?
The beach.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely.
Same. And that's probably one of my favorite summer activities, too, is laying on the beach.
Yep, absolutely.
Listening to the ocean.
Yes.
Going back to
So
that
peaceful.
relaxation.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, go to summer drink. I didn't plan an answer for this.
I like cucumber water. I mean, honestly, it's just so refreshing. So.
Yeah.
And I had never had it until we went to Jamaica a few years ago, and that's what they serve you when you got there. And
Really?
I had never had it, but after that, I was hooked.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one.
I like mineral water with lime in it.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that does sound good.
Yeah.
It just sounds very refreshing, too.
Yes.
Yep. It has to have like mint. If I'm doctoring up my water at all, so usually it is plain, but mint with like either strawberries or watermelon or something like that. It gives it a really, really good flavor.
Does sound good.
Okay. Morning sun or evening sunset?
I'm evening. I'm not a morning person. I know you are. I know you get up and work out in the morning, but I'm more of a sunset type of person.
Yeah. But when I work out, there is no sun in the morning. It has not yet. But in the summer, when I am kind of in Maine, you're kind of closer, more eastern. So you do sometimes get to catch that. However, I would have to say still sunset. It's much easier to catch that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree. The sunset definitely, but catching them both is a good thing to kind of keep our circadian rhythm on point too. So just
Okay, yeah, that's true.
sunrise to sunset, kind of take both of those.
How are we supposed to get that many hours of sleep that are recommended if we're catching both?
in the summer?
Yeah.
Because you're getting up at what does the sun rise about 6:30?
Oh, that's true. I guess
Yeah.
you could catch both and still get
then
enough
we're
sleep in
at
theory.
9 o'clock maybe. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's a
I'm
good
I'm
point.
living long days, Nicole.
Yes, you are.
You take that nap in the middle of the day, right?
I wish.
All right. So, best summer vacation destination.
For me, it's anywhere near a beach. I'm definitely a beach girl. I mean, the Caribbean's beautiful, but I'll take any beach that I can get to. So that's my favorite.
I would love to say like Italy and France.
Yeah, I've never
and,
been there though,
you know,
so I'm sure that's
Ireland,
awesome.
because that, like, I would love to go to Ireland. That's on my bucket list. But I love Jekyll Island in Georgia. It's just a very good little quiet beach that you can go to. It's actually a state park. And it's dog friendly. I keep bringing up this dog, but she can go, and it's very nice.
Yeah, that sounds nice, relaxing. I would probably say beach too, although I really love just relaxing on the lake too. We have got a camp that we like to frequent, and it's very, very peaceful. You don't necessarily have all of the crowds that you might at the beach, so a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Fireworks or beach bonfire?
I love fireworks.
I like the bonfire.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a bonfire on the beach, but I bet that would be really fun.
Oh, I didn't even know what I was asking. Yeah, okay. Beach bonfire. I don't think I've ever had that. I would say bonfire in general. But that sounds awesome. Okay. And then ice cream cone or popsicle?
Oh, ice cream by far.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Sure.
Absolutely. Okay. I think unanimous on that one. All right. Let's go into maybe a little bit more of your expertise too. This can be rapid fire, but for Megan. So some of this is going to get into sunscreen, which we didn't talk about too much, but kind of sun health or skin health rather, and hydration and stuff like that. All right. You need to drink a lot of water only when you're thirsty. Myth or fact?
That's definitely a myth. I mean, we've kind of already touched on that. If you're feeling thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So you need to be drinking water throughout the day. Right?
Yeah, I agree. You can't get sunburned on a cloudy day.
That is a myth, and I'm sure we can probably all speak from experience of this at one point or another in our lives where it's rainy or it's overcast. I'm going to be outside all day, but it's fine. And then you come home with a sunburn because you've been out in it. So yeah, that's definitely a myth.
It is a myth, and I know that it's a myth, and yet I still live like it isn't.
Yeah.
I so often will go, I'm probably fine.
Right.
Sunscreen. And then I do come home red as a lobster. All right, Chastity, this one's for you. You need to wait an hour after eating before you go swimming.
So, yeah, I did not know that was on there. I want to say that it's a myth, but your body cannot digest food and do strenuous activity at the same time. So you do want to give yourself time for that digestion before you're exercising or doing something strenuous.
Yeah, I would just kind of listen to your body too, whatever you're doing. If it's uncomfortable, then don't do it. Obviously, adults are maybe a little bit more in tune than that if you're advising your child, who are the ones that are hearing it most often, then guidance is needed. All right, Megan, you can't get a sunburn under an umbrella.
That is a myth as well. An umbrella is a great option if you're having to be, like, for instance, we're at a ball field all day and it's sunny. An umbrella is great to keep the sun off of you, but you still want to have sunscreen on because it can the UV rays will reflect off of surfaces as well. And that's even swimming. I mean, getting underwater, it will reflect off the water, and your face is more prone to get burnt that way. So,
wow, that makes sense. I just had never thought of that before.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone needs sunscreen regardless of skin color to protect against UV damage.
And that is true. Yeah, that's a fact. Everybody has risk for sunburn and skin damage. So, yep, everybody needs to be wearing sunscreen.
Yep, absolutely. All right, another one for you, Chastity. You can't get dehydrated if you're in the pool.
That is definitely a myth. And I would say you would almost get more dehydrated depending on if it's a saltwater pool. It could pull more from your body.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and you're just active and kind of
sure.
expending. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you're not drinking water. I guess that would be the premise behind the myth. You're drinking the water, you can't get dehydrated, but don't drink pool water. That would be gross. All right. Any last thoughts for staying healthy or on top of wellness, whether that's from a medication perspective or nutrition perspective or movement perspective for the summer?
I mean, my final thought is just, enjoy it. Don't get caught up into, worrying about the logistics of everything. Just planning ahead can really help put your mind at ease and help you be prepared for your trip so you can actually relax on them. So just, just plan ahead and then just try and enjoy it.
Yep.
And know things are going to come up and not stress out
Right.
about the things
Yeah,
that
go with the flow.
you didn't plan for.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy the change in routine that summer presents. It might be slower, it might be a little bit more chaotic, kind of depending on what sort of activities you're going on, but
Yeah.
whatever that is, just eat mindfully, be on top of medications, stay on top of planning when you can, but also allow yourself flexibility within some sort of structure, I think would be the key takeaway for all of it. But yeah, well, this was fun. First time with 3 guests, so I enjoyed it. But people who are listening can, of course, sign up for Wellness Club and get recipes, tailored advice from the 3 of us, and kind of some dietitians pick options as well as special savings. But we will see you next time.